Hey, what's going on, team? Happy Wednesday. I hope that you guys are all off to a good start. Just like we talked about yesterday about the inverse ETFs, if you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, feel free to go check that out. TQQQ has been indicating signs of an uptrend. I actually just finished my live trading session with the Learn Plan Profit group. I locked in profits actually during the pre-market session, and I'll actually show you my orders on when I decided to lock it in. So you guys can see my exit was at 750 shares at 4491, another 255 shares at 4485, and then my last 250 shares that I wanted to sell at $45.21. I'm up a little bit over $4,300 profit on the day. Now, that's not even so much what I want to talk to you guys about. One thing first is Europe. Europe announced that with banning Russian oil, it can still survive for a couple of months based off of what it has in its reserves. That's very good news for the overall market. It's not very good news for oil. This is exactly why you're seeing oil stocks drop today, and they're tanking and they're dropping even more. Look at that. WTI tanking right now, down 11% on the day. This is why it's so important to stay up to date with what is going on, because we've said it. We've said it that oil was going through the roof during this uncertainty of how are we going to find a solution to keep up with current demand levels. And all we ever talked about is it's not that oil prices are cheap and that's why those stocks are good trades, but it's because there is no solution for oil at that time that it makes sense on why they're going to continue to uptrend. I mean, we hit $130 a barrel for oil. It's insane. But finally, there's some progress being made. There's a potential deal that the Biden administration talked about with Iran and Venezuela to get us to full capacity in 2 months. That would be amazing, right? Hopefully. And again, we had a lot of fun with it yesterday. Hopefully we can begin to see our gas stations experience a drop on the price per gallon. There's people sharing that, I don't know if I believe it, $8 a gallon? I don't know where you live in the United States that you're paying $8 a gallon, but that's insane. Comment down below if you guys have seen anything at $8 a gallon. In Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, it's still at 4 to maybe the high 4s. I haven't seen anything beyond that. I actually haven't even really filled up. But one of the last things that I did want to talk about is a very good sign. We actually talked about it during our live trading session today with the Learn Plan Profit group. It's the VIX. Feel free to learn a little bit more about it. The VIX is an index that follows the S&P 500 volatility. It's viewed as the fear index. When there's a lot of fear instilled in the market, the S&P 500 market, for those that don't know what that is, the S&P 500 is made up supposedly of the top 500 most valuable companies that are publicly traded, just so you understand. I want you to understand the why on why these different things move the way that they move. That's all I'm here to share with you. So when there's a lot of fear, we can see that levels begin to really rise. An example that I can give you is not just right now. Obviously, there's a lot of fear with Russia, with inflation rates, with interest rates, all of that. But another great example of this is that if we go back to pandemic levels, right? This was during the 2020 pandemic. You guys can see that the VIX shot through the roof. There was a lot of uncertainty. And then guess what? Fear began to kind of cool off slowly and slowly and slowly. It didn't cool off right away. You could still see that it had its waves. And that's one thing that I want you to understand. It looks like this is potentially the peak, at least for the oil crisis, with this uncertainty. And it doesn't mean that we're just going to drop right back down, but this is a good sign. We're beginning to show signs of a resistance level on the VIX, which means that fear is hitting its high, potentially, right? And as long as we begin to pull back, break below the EMA line, and then make these lower lows and lower highs on the VIX, that's a really good sign for the overall market. Now, please, that does not mean that you should jump in and invest in every stock blindly, fingers crossed, and hoping that the market recovers. I do agree with you. There's so many deals out there right now. Amazon, Facebook, what else? Apple, TQQQ, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you see value in. I think, yes, I agree with you. It's so exciting. There's so much money to be made. This is your time to be selective. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to trade 10, 15, 20 different stocks. You don't have to do that. Why are you trying to juggle all of that? Keep it simple. Pick 5 valuable companies. Even 5 is a lot, right? Maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe even 1. The idea is during such uncertain times, and when we're beginning to see things getting better, it's not that you should get too excited and go all in. It's that you should remind yourself it pays to be patient in this market. Yes, you should be prepared. You should have your watch list set on the stocks that you value. That's all we've ever talked about as the market's been selling off. I'm big on day trading. I love day trading. I mean, with trading alone today, right? I made a decent chunk of change, $4,300. I'm happy. But I also understand and value long-term investing, right? And I understand that right now during very uncertain times with a lot of these blue chip stocks, they're very undervalued. They're very cheap and they have huge upside potential. I want to approach it in an effective way. I'm not going to buy a bunch right now, but as the market begins to recover slowly, I can average up. I'm not going to average down. I can average up as it slowly begins to indicate signs of an uptrend. Again, I talk about this and I preach this to all of my Learn Plan Profit members. It's all we break down in the Learn Plan Profit course, especially if you're an absolute beginner, if you're someone that's really struggling on how to day trade, right? And or how to invest during such unprecedented times. I would encourage you, if you want to learn a little bit more about it, again, I trade live every single morning. You get lifetime access to the A to Z video lesson library. Take 2 minutes. Click the first link down, actually the second link in the description, and it will send you on over to our Learn Plan Profit welcome page. You can learn a little bit more. You can watch the video. You can see what's included. If you want to get an exact taste of what's included, then again, make sure that you guys watch this video. Again, that is the second link down below. You can join us as soon as tomorrow for our live trading session and you can get started. The idea is, one of the things that I always love talking about is, I mean, you can learn how to do anything online. That's not the question. The question is, can you learn how to do something effectively? So if you begin to learn how to trade, how many mistakes will you make? And how much will that cost you before you fully understand what the market has to offer? Versus, yeah, I understand that, you can learn everything on your own, but it's definitely more efficient to go through a lesson library where everything is structured out for you. So instead of you knowing what to look for, it's laid out for you in an effective manner, especially if you're an absolute beginner. So I'm very excited to follow up. We're waiting for the break above $46 a share. If TQQQ breaks above $46 a share, again, I'm going to re-enter on this day trade, and our Learn Plan Profit group is already well aware of that resistance level with all of our alerts set. So very excited to follow up. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Congratulations for all those that have overcame the challenges for the past 2 months. It finally looks like things are slightly looking better, but let's not get too excited. And again, that's why we watch our position size. And again, we keep that effective watch list. So we'll see you on the next one. I hope that earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.